Good for you for almost 100 years. Nabisco shredded wheat. It's pure whole wheat with plenty of fiber, with no added fat and no added sugar or salt. Food fads will come and go, but not Nabisco shredded wheat. It's good today, and it'll be good tomorrow.
The Remington microscreen shaves as close as a blade. Hold it. Remington's also quick and comfortable with two thin, flexible screens. The Remington microscreen, quick, comfortable, shaves as close as a blade, or your money back. Atta boy, that's Remington.
Darling, after 10 years, the only thing I'd change about you is your clothes.
Bugle boy.
Why don't you try this one on first?
Tomorrow on The World Today, a forecast along the fault line. Is the Earth about to quake in the Midwest? Preparing for the big one on CNN's The World Today, 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
And finally today, Wheel of Fortune's Vanna White visited New York recently, and as usual, when Vanna appears, we send Bill Tush out to chat with her. He reports that the blonde beauty seems to have many wheels turning these days.
1 year ago, when Vanna White and I got together, it was during a Christmas shopping trip at a New York toy store. We have also chatted on camera since, and that's created, for me at least, a special role.
I'm sort of the CNN Vanna White correspondent. It's like I come every year and get an update on what you're doing.
Yes.
So this year, what do we have?
Many, many years, people have written me, when are you going to come out with a Vanna doll? We want a Vanna doll. So finally, I have one.
And with a little help, she even does what the real Vanna is famous for.
She does clap. You can take her hands and push them together.
Of course, having a 12-inch version of yourself can be a bit strange.
You should have seen when I approved the doll. They were in Los Angeles. They brought the doll to Los Angeles. And they just had the head of the doll, which was the most important, the face, right? It's an eerie feeling.
Well, don't you have to approve the rest of the doll? I mean...
Well, that's kind of all generic stuff.
The Vanna doll is just one of the many deals she has parlayed since becoming a household name.
I also have a clothing line. I'm coming out with a holiday line, and sheets and bedding.
Let's not forget her acting career. 1989's TV film, The Goddess of Love, might have been a critical disaster, but it could become a camp classic.
But why am I in this place and not on Mount Olympus?
I'm living day by day. Never know what's going to happen tomorrow. But I know Wheel of Fortune's going to be around.
Now, Vanna might not be playing characters like the Love Goddess again anytime soon, but she will be seen other places besides Wheel of Fortune. In fact, on this week's episode of L.A. Law. And this time, she'll play the person she does best, Vanna White. Bill Tush, CNN Entertainment News, New York.
There should be a Bill Tush doll. That's it for now. From New York, I'm Lauren Sidney.
And in Hollywood, I'm Bella Shaw. Have a great evening.
Weight Watchers magazine explains how you can prepare delicious low-calorie meals. You'll find articles on improving your appearance with easy, sensible exercises, fashion tips, beauty secrets developed just for you, and much, much more.
Call 800-257-1257 for 12 issues of Weight Watchers magazine, only $14. That's 40% off the cover price. You'll also get free our expanded dining out calorie guide that includes fast foods. Call 800-257-1257 now.
Did you know that you can send beautiful flowers like these anytime, anywhere to anyone by calling the same telephone number? The number is 1-800-FLOWERS. Because now more than 10,000 of America's finest florists have the same telephone number. The number is 1-800-FLOWERS. All you need is a telephone and a major credit card. Just pick up the phone and call 1-800-FLOWERS. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, toll free. We're the 24-hour worldwide florist.
Celebrating 10 years of growth. This is CNN.
CNN's News Night Update, a late wrap-up of the day's news. Reporting from CNN Center, Dave Walker.
Good evening. It may be the last UN resolution on Iraq and Kuwait. Saddam Hussein has ignored the rest, but the U.S. hopes this one will get his attention. It authorizes military force against him, and Secretary of State James Baker is holding last-minute meetings with Soviet, Chinese, and Cuban counterparts to guarantee its passage. CNN's Ralph Begleiter reports.
Secretary of State James Baker's first job was to be sure the Kremlin is still on board to approve the new Security Council resolution clearing the way for military action against Iraq. Soviet Foreign Minister Eduard Shevardnadze told Baker the price for Moscow's support is allowing non-military tactics another 45 days to work.
We should develop a very big effort to make sure that we're not compelled to use military force. We want to prevent a military clash. It's very undesirable. It's the worst possibility. So we should do all we can in order to find a political solution. The resolution does not exclude the possibility of the use of military force, but it does not oblige, it does not obligate to use military force.
After months of massive military buildup in the Gulf and weeks of intense diplomacy, Baker is cautious about the Security Council vote.
I don't think we ought to count votes until votes are cast.
American officials believe there will be solid support from 12 Security Council members. Only China and Yemen will abstain from authorizing force. The only vote against is likely to come from Cuba. Baker took a stab at changing Cuba's vote, meeting with Cuba's foreign minister. It's the first time since 1981 that an American Secretary of State and a Cuban foreign minister have had such a meeting. Cuban-American relations have been so bad for so long that Baker doesn't have much hope of winning Cuba's approval.
Well, the text that we have before us today is not acceptable to Cuba.
Cuba has apparently dropped plans to interfere with the American resolution on the Gulf by pushing separate moves to get the UN involved in Arab-Israeli peace efforts. Late-night diplomatic arm-twisting was also on Baker's agenda with China's foreign minister.
We both agreed we don't take that question. Okay?
It was an effort to turn a likely Chinese abstention into a vote for the use of force resolution. The Security Council vote is probably the highest stakes diplomacy the Bush administration has conducted. With the UN vote pressure comes the possibility of a peaceful resolution of the Gulf crisis, but also the chance of war if Saddam Hussein doesn't comply. Ralph Begleiter, CNN, with the Secretary of State in New York.
CNN will carry the debate on this, the latest UN resolution, live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Senate Republican leader Bob Dole says the odds are better than 50-50 that President Bush will call a special session of Congress before Christmas to discuss the crisis in the Gulf. But first, Mr. Bush will meet with congressional leaders on Friday. CNN's Frank Sesno has the story.
Sources tell CNN the White House is actively considering calling Congress into special session to pass a joint resolution of support for the president's Persian Gulf policy. According to one official, the resolution would provide guideposts but would not be a blank